Well, hello, traders and everyone watching. This is Leslie Juflis with Trading Live Online. Now, today is October 5th, 2023, and it's after the close of the U.S. Markets. So I want to update the S&P 500. If you've watched the last few videos, you've been hopefully following along with the price action. So far, the price action is right with the analysis that has been in these videos. So I thought I would point out a couple of things to you on the S&P 500, and we'll use a couple of different charts to do that. So let's start with this daily chart. Now I'm using the S&P 500 futures market right here. You can use the SPY if you like, or even the SPX to follow along. Now in a previous video, it pointed out there's a head and shoulder pattern. This would be the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. This would be the neckline area, and then a break. And then this line is the projected measured price target. However, it's important to point out that not all patterns that use measured moves, they don't always get to the price objective. Sometimes they will get to it, sometimes they'll go beyond it, sometimes they'll fall short of it. So you just have to monitor the price action. So with every head and shoulder pattern, or almost every head and shoulder pattern, probably 98 to 99%, sometimes the right shoulder can be almost too difficult to, it's so weak that it can't really be detected unless you're really good at it. So it wouldn't really count as a A, B, C. There wouldn't be enough of a retracement. But here we've got a retracement on the ABC, and then here's where the neckline breaks. Well, this is where the 1.0, D 1.0, that means on the ABCD pattern, this length and this length are equal. The 1.27 means that the CD leg extends further than the AB leg by the Fibonacci extension ratio 1.27, and the D 1.618, this leg extends further to around that ratio. So we can see here that the market traded to the D 1.0, and notice on the reaction up, notice here that it only got as a test to this neckline. Now I think this neckline area right now is going to be an important resistance area to keep an eye on. 4370-ish is just about where it is. Let's give it, a few points either way. We don't always get exact numbers. So if the market were to turn up, say from the 0.382, the 1.27 extension turn up and start to really exceed that level, then I think that we can say that this decline may be over. So we want to mark this in as a current resistance, but support and resistance are only support and resistance until they are not. So we always have to monitor the price action. So down around here, so the market came through the 1.0, little rally down through, a little test back up to this level. I will have to see what happens tomorrow. But the 4200 level, the 0.382 retracement from the October 2022 lows up to the highs this last summer in July, that's right at that 4200 level. And if you remember from the past videos, you just go back and click on one of the recent past videos that cover the S&P 500. This 4200 level is a level that it took the market several months to be able to break through. So I'm really watching this level right here, and then down close to this 0.50, which is also in the area of this measured move target and the 1618 extension. Now, if the market comes down, so let's look at some, what if scenarios, because I think in technical analysis, you've always got to look at what if scenarios, and this is how you don't ever get caught in the markets like a deer in the headlines. So let's say, what if the market just with big long bars comes down through here? Well, then we have kind of a confirmed downtrend. So right now, the market, you see down here, it made a succession of other than some little range in here, we made higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher low, all the way up to here. So now we have this low here, which is a little bit lower than here, but it's lower than this one. So we have the first lower low, and we have a lower high to here, and now we have this lower low. So any reaction back up off these ABCD patterns is going to be important. So we want to see and watch if we get a bounce, say from the 4,200 level. If we start to get a bounce and it does something like this, or maybe even retest right up to here, and then possibly, this is just one scenario, and then comes back down and breaks this level of support, we're now going to have a succession of lower low, lower high, lower lower low, lower high, lower low. See, and that's going to confirm that downtrend until the market changes direction again. So let's really be watching this 4,200 level. It might offer a nice short-term bounce because it was such a well-watched area. If we see long bars come through it, we want to be watching down at this measured move level. Let's take a look at just a couple of other charts. So if we look, this is the SPY. This is a weekly chart. So we're looking at a daily chart of the S&P 500 futures. Now we're looking at the SPY on a weekly chart. So here was the ABCD sell pattern up here. So you can see it came down. We'll retest up here and now down here. So here's the 382 level right here. That's going to be coinciding very close to that 4,200 level in the futures. And right here I have this line marked across. So we have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Market took kind of a pause right in here, and then came, up, higher high, higher low, lower high. So again, what we just looked at in that scenario is going to be very, very important to be keeping an eye on. So the 0.50, the 0.382, and the 0.50, and the reason I have this dashed line across, as you can see here, as the market came up above these highs here, you see this kind of these lows, a little bit of a consolidation, and then that's where the market started to move back to the upside. So that's coming in right around that 0.50 as well. Okay, so another view. So there's different things going on with the technical analysis in my view. We've got the head and shoulder pattern. We just covered that, measured move down, the ABCD and all that. But we also have a trend line that's coming back from October. I've got two of them drawn in here. It's just showing us that that was the level that the market broke to the downside, this upsloping trend line from October 2022. So you can see the market when it got down to it, see how it bounced off, and that was the retest of the head and shoulder neckline. And then it came kind of bounced back down, and then it finally went through it, a little retest back up to it. And now we have what's called an inside day. And so these can precede breakouts. However, not always the next day. Sometimes you get another inside day. So, but this is telling us that there's going to be a breakout in the price in one direction or the other. So we can see that this bar here is within this previous candle. So the high of this bar is lower than the high of this bar, and the low of this bar is higher than the low of this bar. So it's inside that bar. So sometimes, again, we can get a few days of inside bar. Sometimes some other patterns will form with that. But if we look and see where this price action is, so see the breakout here, 4,200. So see the long bar. So it just, it's just spent forever fooling everybody. And then it has the breakout. And then this is the first consolidation of that breakout. And look where the lows of this consolidation are right into where these closes and the opens are of these candles and the low of our inside day. So I think just a break below here, and we'll be looking for those price levels below around the 4,200 level. I've got a line drawn right across here. Again, we want to make a range. We don't necessarily want to get locked into exactly 4,200. Let's watch this as a range. And then I've got some other support marked below here. So I thought, as we have a head and shoulder, we have an ABCD buy pattern, and then we have a upsloping trend line broken to the downside. So I kind of go back and forth looking at all of these different pictures of things, and again formulating, okay, what if? So what if the price got above these trend lines? Well, this is going to be the next area of resistance, and then below here we're going to be looking for more lower price to come with a test around 4,200, and then this measured move down here. Okay, last chart. This is the intraday chart, so we're really combining some time frames here, and there is no Globex data on here. I have the Globex high written up here, but that's not the exact high of the regular session. The regular session high was here at 46.33 and a half. So it was a little bit higher than that one there. So I keep these without Globex so I can see these nice big gap areas. So what we just talked about with our analysis at that 4,200 level, well, look what's there. Look at this big gap right down here. Right above 4,200. And so this is where the market really took off to the upside. It came up, had a little pop up, and then a small retracement back. And then it really started that uptrend out of that big breakout range. So another thing to be looking at, another previous range down here around that 4150 level. So I just wanted to point that out to you. So you might remember this chart from a couple of videos ago. And if you remember, I had this pattern on before there was a breakout. And then it had a false breakout. It's about 20 or so points to the upside. And it turned around, came down, and here's the real breakout to the downside. Broke to the downside, retest, big long, here we go, big long bars down, gap, continuation down. We have a retracement. This was actually a little butterfly buy that got some points off of there. However, butterfly patterns don't always, get a huge move. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they're just saying the market's ready for a pause in the other direction. But it got, a fairly good bounce off of there, 50 something points. There is if the market moves a bit higher, there's a ABCD Gartley sell. So we can just use this little swing high right here. It would help us define the trade and the risk. And we can see where the 1.0, 127, 1618 are. Okay, so I think the price might be interesting. We've got some great levels mapped out, and so let's be watching in the next couple of days. Remember, there's an inside bar on the daily chart, which is telling us there's most likely a breakout coming in one direction or the other. Well, thanks for watching, you guys, and come visit me at Trading Live online. I have plenty of courses on there for you if you'd like to learn how to do this analysis on your own. Hey, have a great weekend, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.